This is David with High Performance Stoicism. I want to talk to you about Stoics without desire. Recently, I've been discussing this idea of the Stoics that one of the things you're going to aim for in life is totally eliminating a certain class of emotions. And all of the emotions that we've been talking about are emotions that are disturbances of the mind that cannot be controlled by reason. If you become virtuous, if you become the Stoic sage, or also called the wise man, then you will be completely without these kinds of emotions. And some of the ones we've talked about are anger, envy, resentment, panic, and hatred. And I think all of us would say, well, I think that most of them I can do without, even though some people enjoy getting angry. If you look at it on balance, your life is better without anger. There are some emotions that the Stoics say we should get rid of over time that we have big questions about. And I'm talking today about desire. The Stoics say that if someone becomes the wise man, they will have no desire. And Epictetus, in chapter 2 of the Enchiridion, his handbook, so pretty early in this important book, he says, for the time being, do without desire completely. Eliminate desire altogether. Now, the first thing that let's talk about is why should we get rid of desire? Many people enjoy their desires, and many people that want to do good things in life or great things in life believe it's important to have a lot of desires. And our desires should be really cranked up to the max. And here I'm talking especially about people that want to be high performers. So Napoleon Hill says one key to becoming extremely wealthy, extremely successful, is to have a white hot desire for wealth. So let's talk about this. And it's not only such people that think it's really important to have desire, and how can you human beings eliminate it? You might think maybe this whole idea of a stoic sage doesn't make any sense. And I'll just give you an example that I believe most of us have experienced at one point in your life. Let's say you're starting to get to know someone. So you're starting to get to know a woman, right? If you're a woman, you're starting to get to know a man in general, and romance is in the air, and you build up a desire that is such that you don't know if they're at home in some case, but you just want to go by and your heart is beating and you can't wait to see them. Isn't that a beautiful part of life to be so filled with desire? And here's something to think about. I want to think about the effects of that. Because, yes, it's beautiful, it's romance, the first bloom of love. Nobody would want to trade in that kind of experience in their life and say, it'd be better if I never had it. But let's think about an old Kinks song, All Day and All the Night. And here's just two lines from the song. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time. The only time I feel all right is by your side. And wow, great music. I know I've been there. We've all been there at some point. But think about that last part. The only time I feel all right is by your side. So there is a big downside to desire, even if in some case such as this, we really enjoy the experience of desiring another person. And just to be clear what the Stoics are talking about, because when we talk about getting rid of all desire altogether, you could have a really important question for this kind of claim. How is that even possible? If I'm just a little hungry and I want to get some food, is Epictetus saying we should get rid of that? And that's where it's important to go back to the meaning of this term of passions or pathe, and in particular, the passion or pathos of desire. The Stoics are talking about something that may more properly be translated as lust. And in English, we talk about not just lust in terms of a sexual desire, a very strong sexual desire that drives people to do all kinds of things. We're all familiar with that, but also a desire for a lust for power, a lust for money, a lust for fame. We use lust in this general sense, and guess what? That's the kind of thing the Stoics are talking about. We're talking about a kind of desire that overwhelms the person where they can't really use their reason to help them deal with the situation well, and they are captured by such lust. And even in un, even in minor cases where we really desire something, like a certain kind of food for lunch, once we get it in our mind and build it up, even though it's not really overwhelming us in a dramatic fashion, oftentimes it can rule us in terms of what we do to get lunch. So if we build up in our mind, I'm going to pizza place A for lunch, and if they're not open or there's a big line, I'll just go straight home. But what happens is we get to the place, and let's say it's Monday, so they're off, and we say, well, maybe I'll go to pizza place B. It'll only take a half hour out of my time. So desire, or more properly, lust, is pretty insidious because a lot of times we don't see that it's overcome us. We don't see that it's calling the shots, that it's ruling us. But I think from this perspective that I've given you, you can see how such strong desire is problematic. And just to be totally clear about the Stoic view, they do think that there's a light equivalent that will move us to do different things, which they translate often as wish. So, wish is something that, okay, I'm a little hungry. I wish to go get something. My reason is still in control. So there's nothing in this that is a disturbance. There's nothing in the nature of a wish that would overwhelm us. So just keep in mind, yes, if you are a sage, you will still wish for food. You will still wish to be with someone you love, and you will still wish for sex, but it's not going to rule your life. That's it for today. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Give us your comments.